Hey, what's up you guys? It's Ruthie and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to go into part 2 of chapter 14 of Closed for the season. So let's get right into this video. This video may contain sensitive topics and foul language. If you do not wish to continue, I suggest you click off the video now. You have returned. You have been warned, not returned. What? Despite myself, I turned away. I don't have it, I muttered. Mom tilted my chin up so I had to see her face look me in the eyes and say that, Logan. Arthur has it. I was telling the truth, or at least part of it. Mom shifted her attention to my cargo shorts. What's in your pocket? Nothing. I backed away, but Mom grabbed my arm. Show me, she said. Reluctantly, I produced the map. It's just an old... She snatched it and saw the library stamp. Oh, Logan, she said. I'm so disappointed in you. You don't understand, Mom. If you make me take it back to the library, there's these really bad guys will get it. That's why we took it, to keep them from finding... Mom stared at me as if she'd never seen me before. Is this some craziness Arthur dreamed up? Why can't you trust me? I was yelling now, but I didn't care. Why take Nina's word over mine? I'm your son. Stop shouting at me, Logan. Dad came to the kitchen door. He was holding a brush dripping with moss green paint. Johnny was right behind him, Dad's shadow. What's going on now? Dad asked. Mom waved the map at Dad. Your son stole this from the library, he and Arthur. Dad looked at the map and then at me, obviously puzzled. Why did you take some useless thing like this? Behind him, Johnny stared at me with interest, but I kept my mouth shut. I wasn't about to say anything important in front of him. Arthur's been a terrible influence on Logan, Mom said. Mom told Dad, eager to blame my one and only friend for everything. Stop picking on Arthur, I yelled. That's enough, Mom said. Come along now. As Mom rushed me outside and into the car, I heard Johnny say, I told him to dump Arthur. Nobody likes that kid. He's weird and crazy. When we pulled away from the house, I saw Arthur sitting on the front steps, shoulders hunched, watching us glumly. I waved, and he lifted his hand in farewell. Behind him, Danny sulked in the doorway, his nose pressed onto the screen. Bear sat beside him. Although I argued with Mom all the way to the library, she paid no attention to a word I said. She made her plans, set her goals, organized her priorities. Nothing would alter her decision. Miss Bailey and Miss Jones were chatting in the information desk. When they saw me, they smiled and said hi, which they surely wouldn't have done if Arthur and I were guilty of the things Nina had accused us of doing. I'm Logan's mother, Caroline Forbes, Mom said. Logan has come to apologize for his behavior yesterday. Before I could say a word, Miss Jones said Logan and Arthur were just horsing around, acting silly. I gave them some work to do, and then they went on their way. They didn't vandalize anything, Mom asked. No, of course not. They're good kids, Miss Bailey put in. It's been so nice to see Arthur with a friend. Mom looked surprised to hear this, but she went on with her agenda anyway. Logan has something to return to you. Red-faced, I handed the Magic Forest map to Miss Jones. I took this, I mumbled. I'm sorry, but... Miss Jones looked at the map. For heaven's sake, I've been searching all over for this. A man asked for one yesterday. We're supposed to have several, but I couldn't find any of them. She paused and stared at me. Why didn't you make a photocopy? I didn't have any money, I said, and we. The librarians glanced at each other. Does Arthur by any chance have the other maps? Miss Jones asked. I don't mean to be rude, I said, but Arthur's my friend. I can't tell on him. He's not your friend anymore, Mom said. Turning to Miss Jones, she added, I suggest you call Arthur's grandmother if you want the rest of the maps. As she led me away, I asked her why she didn't just call the police. Maybe they'd send me to jail and you wouldn't have to put up with me any longer. That's not a bad idea, she snapped in a sort of joking way. On the way to the car, she stopped to look in the dry cleaner's window. What are all these posters about saving the Magic Forest? I thought a big development was planned for the property. Arthur says a lot of people in town don't want a zillion newcomers moving in here. Mom frowned at the sound of Arthur's name. In Rhoda's opinion, the people opposed to it are fighting progress. What's wrong with a population increase? We'll have larger tax base, better schools, decent places to shop and eat. I felt like saying Rhoda was a worse influence on Mom than Arthur was on me. But what was the use? She'd just get mad. The bulldozing's scheduled to begin soon, Mom went on. I don't think there's much hope of saving the magic. We got back in the car. The seats were so hot from the sun I expected to get second-degree burns on the back of my legs. Are we going home now? Mom shook her head. I talked to Rhoda last night. She has a son your age, and we thought it would be fun to get you two together. So school begins in a couple weeks. Wouldn't it be nice to make a new friend? I already have a friend, I muttered. A grim look settled on Mom's face, full of resolution. She headed the car out of town and into Fair Oaks, which meant passing between two curving stone walls. I'm going to leave it off right there, and the rest of this is going to be in part 3 of this chapter, because, oh gosh, chapter 14 is long, but I will see you guys in part 3 of chapter 14. Bye.